जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ जय गिरिवरधारी जय गिरिवरधारी जय जय गोपी जन वल्लभ जय गिरिवरधारी जय गिरिवरधारी जय यशोदानन्दन जय व्रजवररञ्जन जय यशोदानन्दन जय व्रजवररञ्जन जय यशोदानन्दन जय व्रजवररञ्जन जय यमुनातीरवनचारी जय कुंज बिहारी जय यमुनातीरवनचारी जय कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय राधा वृंदावन चंद्र राधा वृंदावन चंद्र राधा वृंदावन चंद्र श्री राधे जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा भगवान की श्री प्रभुपाद की भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 6, and Text 9. Since it is prose, I will just read the translation and purport. Translation. Shukadeva Goswami continued speaking to Maharaj Parikshit. My dear king, the king of Konka, Venka and Kutaka, whose name was Arhat, heard all the activities of Rishabdev and, imitating Rishabdev's principles, introduced a new system of religion. Taking advantage of Kali Yuga, the age of sinful activity, King Arhat, being bewildered, gave up the Vedic principles, which are free from risk, and concocted a new system of religion opposed to the Vedas. That was the beginning of the Jain Dharma. Many other so-called religions followed this atheistic system. Purport. When Lord Sri Krishna was present on this planet, a person named Taundrak imitated the four-handed Narayan and declared himself the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He desired to compete with Krishna. Similarly, during the time of Lord Vrishabdev, the king of Konka and Venka acted like a Paramhamsa and imitated Lord Vrishabdev. He introduced a system of religion and took advantage of the fallen conditioned people in this age of Kali. It is said in Vedic literatures that people in this age will be more inclined to accept anyone as the Supreme Lord and accept any religious system opposed to Vedic principles. The people in this age are described as Manda Sumanda Mataya. Generally, they have no spiritual culture and therefore they are very fallen. Due to this, they will accept any religious system. Due to their misfortune, they forget the Vedic principles. Following non-Vedic principles in this age, they think themselves the Supreme Lord and thus spread the cult of atheism all over the world. Om Ajnanatimmirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Enam Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Ena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamaiham Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurum Vaishnavam Cha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Rita Sri Vishakhanvitamsha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pachatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratise Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Vaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpa Tarubhasya Krupa Sindhu Bhayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Just a minute. Hare Krishna. So in this particular verse, we are getting very important instruction to meditate upon. First part of today, we will be discussing how these imitations are destroying the Vedic culture. Why do they imitate? What do they get? And those in the audience, most of us, rather all of us are devotees, so we will never try to become Krishna. So what is the lesson for us in this verse? So that is the second part. We'll see in the today's discussion. Here, Prabhupada is quoting how Paundrak was imitating Lord Krishna, even when Lord Krishna was personally present, which is quite a laughing stock. And it is said that he had attached two more hands to look Chaturbhuj, and they were created by, like a wooden dolls. So it looks utter foolishness also, because there are two hands. Hands are supposed to be used, and Prabhupada also writes that he was a great warrior. So warrior matlab he has to use hands, for various weapons. Now two hands are only attached like this, they are useless. That looks utter foolishness. This combination itself is, making everyone smile. And same thing happened in the assembly of Yadavas. When that letter was sent by Paundrak, Krishna laughed like anything. Everybody laughed, And then Krishna decided, he wanted Krishna to give up his Sudarshan Chakra. The Sudarshan Chakra can belong only to me. And then Krishna in reply said that, yes, this Sudarshan Chakra will come to you to sever your head. It's your opportunity now to whether to accept the Sudarshan Chakra or then get killed. And Krishna came and then killed. And in this specific verse also, some King Arhat is trying to imitate Lord Rishabdev. Why? Because Rishabdev was a great king. He had so many sons. After he handed over the son to his eldest son, then handed over his kingdom to the eldest son, then he actually became detached. He renounced everything to the extent that he became totally detached from the bodily concept of life. He was totally naked. He was traveling everywhere, totally fixed. He was trying to show that how the total detachment works at Supreme Lord. And people understood, they started following him. There were thousands and thousands of people, they started following him. This was observed by King Arhat. He said, oh, I am a king, I have so much of wealth, but people don't respect me as much as they are respecting this naked person. So this is something to be imitated. And then he started imitating this and created this new system of religion. And especially in Kali Yuga, what happens, people have no discrimination. Manda Sumanda Matoya Prabhupada mentions in the purport. So they get attracted to certain things because scriptures are kept aside. As soon as scriptures are kept aside, you can always have this feel-good theories, even in the today's world, That is part of our implementation talk, where people get attracted to feel-good messages of so many positive thinkers in this world today. But scriptures are not touched only. And it is very easy to imitate such people and become very popular. So that is what Rishabdev pastime and this King Arath is what is being discussed today. So there are always two extremes people take. Like one national leader of India, he said, if it is true that Krishna has done Ras Leela, I am ashamed to call myself as a Hindu. We all know who said this. So that is one extreme, where Ras Leela, just because they have their own concept of mundane morality, so they just reject the Ras Leela like anything. And on the other hand, there are imitators of Ras Leela. They are much in numbers. Because it is easy to imitate and get pleasures. So there is this dandiya and so many other garba dances going on. Originally it is a very pure tradition. I was asking one Gujarati devotee, he said, Prabhuji, 2-3 generations back, men and women were never dancing together, even in Gujarat. You know, and there was center of that circle of dance was Devi, Navratrami. And it was totally Devi songs. But now you see the imitation how it works, where Devi is gone, Krishna is gone, boys and girls are mixing. In fact, there are special dandiya dances which are only for couples. Only if you are a couple you are allowed by paying fees. So that is full imitation, making business out of such events. That is another point to learn, that how these crooked business people, they see where people get attracted, add some kind of cultural element in it, because just like that people will not come for dancing, right? Then in the name of dandiya get them and get money out of them. Same thing they will do tomorrow about Janmashtami. Like, Janmashtami बाद जो दही हंडी होता है, that has become a very money earning business. Just attach some kind of labels, 9,99,999 का बख्शिश for those who can break that dahi handi. That is cheap imitation of Krishna's lila of Makhan Chor. So these crooked businessmen definitely know how to get Indians attracted by adding some cultural element in it and giving sense enjoyment in the name of God consciousness. Each and every festival, tomorrow you see today Janmashtami and Ramanavami is not touched. In 30-50 years that will also be touched. Each and every festival of Vedic culture will be converted into a business. Diwali is already converted into business. Such a big festival, most of the goods of Diwali are coming from out of India. And you know that whole recent messages of banning China products and etc. So, imitation of Vedic culture, God, their festivals is already happening, because Kali Yuga people are not referring to the scriptures. The base has to be scriptures, the reference has to be scriptures. That is not there. And that is why these things are actually creating trouble. So on one hand there is nationalistic leaders who rejected Rasa Leela, on the other hand there are who are imitating such Rasa Leela. Both are not correct, because we need to understand from the Acharya's point of view what is correct and what is to be followed. We cannot accept certain pastimes of Krishna and reject certain other pastimes of Krishna, because we have not understood the position of Krishna. That is the problem. Once we understand Krishna is absolute and there is some lesson to be learned for the conditioned souls from that pastimes, with that angle of vision, that is the angle of vision given by the Acharyas, only then we can understand these things. So Prabhupada used to give a very famous example of, if you want to imitate Lord Shiva or Lord Krishna, they actually did a lot of other activities. Why don't you imitate them? When people want to drink ganja, they quote the example of Lord Shiva. People want to do this rasa dandiya ras, they quote the Rasa Leela of Lord Krishna. So they are just quoting these things, but Prabhupada used to ask so many other questions. One question you would ask, Lord Shiva drank poison, halahal. Can you imitate it? Lord Krishna lifted Govardhan hill. Can you imitate it? Lord Krishna built 16,000 palaces, and each one was very unique. We can read the descriptions in Krishna book. It is not one flat taken of cement and it is, for one palace probably whole Pune's wealth was put there. Such 16,000 palaces. Can we imitate it? Krishna, when he was entering Mathura, he was meeting different people. And particular washerman he cut. How did he cut? Did he use any weapon? Just by fingers. He cut the neck. Can we imitate it? Just try imitating. Just by fingers you cut somebody's neck like that. Or then Krishna from his navel, he brings out lotus. Can you imitate? Let us bring out one kind of flower from your navel. Krishna is taking birth without any parents, like Narsimha came out of pillar. You can also come out from somewhere without parents. Can we imitate? Or then Krishna killing Hiranyakashipu with his nails only, just by nails. Hiranyakashipu is not cockroach to be killed by nails. One can say. Hiranyakashipu is one of the biggest asura. The demigods were fearful about him. Can you kill such big person, with only your nails? Can we imitate such things? Krishna creates material world and impregnates all the conditioned souls in it just by his looks. Can we impregnate somebody just by our looks? So these are the activities of Lord Krishna. If you want to imitate, let us look at the other pastimes of Lord Krishna. So it is not easy to imitate. That is for sure. So when somebody says that, because Krishna did Rasa Leela, we can pose these questions. Krishna also did so many other things. And likewise, we can go to any other pastimes of Lord Krishna and ask any question, this is just indication of few of the pastimes. So what we need to understand is Krishna's position as a Supreme Father. What happens, from Krishna's point of view, he is always absolute. When he is looking at the demons and he is looking at the devotees, he is looking up to them as, my children. So sometimes what happens, the child is doing some mischievous activities. What would Krishna do? Father do? Slap him, correct him, scold at him. Mother also might scold. And sometimes the child is doing good things, that means that time mother will give thousands of kisses. Hug the child, shower lot of love. From both the things, in the first incidence, is mother envious of the child? Is father envious of the child? Let me kill him now, I'll thrash him. Unfortunately, some parents in Kali Yuga nowadays, they go insane. Sometimes we read in the newspaper, but they're very small percentage. In general, and mother or father, they are always well-wishers. Okay. Kali Yuga, everything is polluted. Even this relationship is not spared by Kali Yuga. But in general, mother and father always want good of the child. So when Shishupal or Putana or all these demons are killed by Krishna, actually he is showering a lot of favor. He is not enjoying, yes, now I killed Putana, yay. Like sometimes in the movies, the villains or the heroes, they get a lot of enjoyment by killing the opposite party. Krishna, he is feeling compassionate. I had to kill this demon. Why he accepted this? I offered him so many chances. Even before Kurukshetra war, he acted like a Shanti Dut, just to give some chance. He is always compassionate. But even out of compassion, if somebody is not listening, then there is no other option than killing him. So that is also a favor by Lord Krishna on that soul. When it came to Kaliya, Krishna was dancing on his heads, but at one point of time he felt so exhausted. Who? Kaliya. His pride was smashed. He became humble. That was the treatment Kaliya needed. With the same lotus feet Krishna was dancing, and those same lotus feet were acting like thunderbolt on the head of Kaliya. And they are so soft that gopis and Yashodama used to think, when he is walking on the roads of Vrindavan, that time some thorns might prick. Such soft lotus feet. So for Kaliya, Krishna treated him totally differently. That was good for him. So sometimes whatever difficulties, challenges may come in any soul's lives, whether it's a demon or devotee, actually from Krishna's point of view, they are actually good. That is a favor given by Lord Krishna on such soul so that they can attain the next platform. So whatever he does, he is doing the best. The treatment Krishna gave to his, say, Rukmini, how he kidnapped Rukmini, how he gave the treatment to the Yajna Patnis, various these things we can see. So from there we can understand that how we can only look at the position of Krishna as the Supreme Father. Whatever is happening to these people is only for their own good. So when Krishna approached Karna, that you are actually one of the Pandavas, you join this side. He gave all the logical explanations, and Karna was an intelligent man. He understood that yes, Krishna, everything is nice, I have only one problem. What? मैंने दुर्योधन का नमक खाया है. I have to be, and this is the logic given by many outside people, that Karna कितना अच्छा था, अपने नमक को जागता रहा. दुर्योधन ने नमक दिया तो मैं नमक का अभी नमक हराम नहीं बनूंगा मैं. But then same argument can be used that दुर्योधन किसका नमक खा रहा था? कृष्ण का ही ना. Because namak comes from ocean and ocean belongs to Krishna. So what is the use of this logic? So Same thing can be understood from the Bibhisana's life. Bibhishan Ravan ka namak kha raha tha. But when he understood कि विनाशकाले विपरीत बुद्धि है, Ravan is now going to hellish conditions of life. He is not understanding that he is kidnapping someone else's wife and that is bad. He left Ravana and joined Rama's side. Karna did not understand that. You know. So this namak principle does not work. We have to understand from what angle we have to see the whole thing. So the question will come, why do people imitate Krishna? One very easy reason is that, if you go to, why do people wear imitation jewelry? There is 1 rupee gold and like that is available. Imitation jewelry के shops होते हैं, 100 रुपए में बहुत सारी jewelry मिलता है. Why? Because the real gold is very costly. Imitation is very cheap, very easy. Because if you want to attain that stage, it is very, very costly. Imitation is very easy. It doesn't take much, money. So, when people imitate and try to become God, first it is easy, it is fast, and it gives very cheap publicity. But all these 3 reasons are very superficial. If somebody is real sincere, he will understand this is not what I am supposed to achieve in my life. And this imitation happens in various forms. In today's verse, we are looking at imitating Lord Krishna. But people, Prabhupada gives different examples of imitation. One is imitating Krishna, Supreme Lord. Other example he gives of the, imitation of the laws of God. Many states, he gives in one purport actually, this wonderful paragraph is there. Many states, they imitate the laws of God and create their own constitution. But the God's laws are perfect. But the imitated laws by some men who prepare the constitution or prepare the laws of the state, be it any country, the creator himself is full of those 4 defects. So some kind of discrepancies and universal applicability will not be there. And such states, Prabhupada writes in one purport there, that they allow people to break the laws of God. I'm just trying to find out that. Allow people to break the laws of God, but they will not allow people to break the laws of the state. That is what these countries do. So in Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, Prabhupada says, imitation laws made by man are bound to be imperfect than the religious code of conduct made by God. The secular state or the godless state allows the citizens to break the laws of God, but restricts them from disobeying the laws of the state. The result is that the people in general suffer more by breaking the laws of God than by obeying the imperfect laws made by man. So what is the use of following such? Because ultimate effect is such imitation will not work. Another place where Prabhupada is talking about imitation is imitation of professional reciters. Prabhupada gives very nice purpose of reciting Srimad Bhagavatam, that the audience should become free from the attraction towards materialistic activities, from the clutches of materialistic nonsense. That sense enjoyment should, that attraction to the sense enjoyment should be gone away. But professional reciters, when they are doing imitation of the real devotees recitation. They are doing it for their publicity or actually gathering a lot of donations. Prabhupada writes in one purport that these professional reciters are enjoying their life in their own buildings and establishments, and the audience is suffering in the materialistic clutches of Maya anyways. So both are foolish, the cheaters and cheated coming together. Another example Prabhupada gives about imitation is about deities. He talks about that post box, right? There is an authorized post box and there is an imitation post box. If you put your letter in imitation post box, it will not reach the destination. So imitation of deities by putting sendur to any particular rock here and there, your worship to the Lord will not go. The prana pratishtha has to happen. So Prabhupada is condemning imitation there also. So there are various types of imitations Prabhupada is condemning, but one thing he is saying it is good. Imitation of good thing is, in NOI, text 7, Prabhupada writes, he writes that imitation of good thing is good. So how do you understand this particular aspect? So I read the total context. Here Prabhupada is talking that sometimes what happens, the devotees of Hare Krishna movement, they are going on the streets and doing Sankirtan, and it attracts non-devotees, even the hippies, and they also try to imitate the devotees. They go home, still that Hare Krishna Mahamantra is ringing in their minds, and they are trying to chant, trying to imitate devotees, and then later on there are examples when they become devotees. So imitation of such things is good, Prabhupada writes. So that is the context. So how do we understand? One, imitation of A, B, C, D. Oh, this person is going to the association of devotees, I will also go. Nice imitation, right? This person started reading books of Prabhupada, I will also read books of Prabhupada. Good imitation. This person has started chanting, I will also start chanting. Good imitation. This person started eating only prasadam, I will also start eating only prasadam. So imitation of basic principles of Krishna consciousness is good. That is what is Prabhupada encouraging. Imitation of advanced pure devotees and becoming sahajiyas is condemned. So when Prabhupada is saying that statement that imitation of good thing is good, we cannot imitate. There is a lot of discussions happens during council meetings or in the congregation training seminars, where just because somebody has got a big altar, now I want to imitate that devotee. I also should have a big altar. Such imitation is not good. So imitation of details is not good, because the manifestation of that principle in everybody's house, in everybody's personal life would be totally different. When we try to imitate devotees, generally it could be also out of envy. Oh, he has such a big thing, I also should have a big thing. So imitation out of envy is not correct. Like in the Paundraka's case, we saw that everybody was laughing that Paundraka is challenging Krishna. So when somebody is imitating, one reaction comes is laughing. But there is another case where actually, it is ridiculous, grunaspad. We feel very bad that people are imitating something like this, like Rasa Leela. Or, there was one person whose followers used to call him God. So one devotee asked him, are you Krishna? Do you think that you are God? And he knew what this person is asking. He said, no, I am not Krishna, I am not God, but my followers are calling me Krishna, what can I do? So this is ridiculous. We can't laugh at such things. This person is cheating himself and cheating his followers. Such imitation is very dangerous. It will not help anybody. So now coming towards, what is in it for us. First, in the purport of Bhagavad Gita 7.14, Prabhupada is talking about this word called Anukaran and Anugaman. Anukaran, anu matlab to follow. Karana matlab activities, kriya. So Anukaran, the following, the activities of Lord or pure devotees is dangerous. So Anukaran is not correct. Anugamana, gamana matlab to go, to follow in the footsteps of what the pure devotees or the Lord is indicating, that is correct. So Anugamana is very nice. Anukarana is not correct. And there is another word Prabhupada is in that purport, is Anukirtaya. Kirtaya matlab to speak. Because people, these professional reciters or anybody can speak from his own mind or intellectual capacity is not correct. So Prabhupada writes there, first of all, you must know from the authorities what is the truth. Then you speak. Don't speak nonsense. It will not help you or your followers. That is called Anukirtaya. So one should hear first from the pure devotees, from the purports of Bhaktivedanta purports, Srimad Bhagavatam Gita, and then repeat that. That is Anukirtaya. Otherwise it will not help anybody. So that is one part of implementation for us. But where most of the devotees go wrong is after years of practicing Krishna consciousness, they start feeling that now these basics are enough. Now I want to go to higher levels. What is happening on the banks of Radha Kund, some Babajis, some here and there, So some devotees may get attracted to such things, that is also not very right, because for that certain stage needs to be achieved. Just like we saw that imitation of Krishna is easy, might gain some publicity. Similarly, imitation of pure devotees may be easy. You don't have to go through the process of purification. It is very time consuming process. So some devotees might feel, abhi 3 साल हो गया, अभी 10 साल हो गया, कुछ मिल नहीं रहा है. Now let me try to imitate. No, but there is a saying that Rag Marga Puja Yogya. There is one saying which may say these 2 words are there. Rag Marga is only worshipable. It is not to be followed. We are supposed to follow Sadhana Marga. So once a few devotees, they were visiting India, and then one Swamiji here, they said, actually what your Prabhupada is teaching is only ABCD, basics. I can teach you about your Siddha Pranali, Swarupa Siddhi, what that can be. And these devotees got attracted, they heard it, and then this Babaji revealed that actually you are a peacock in the spiritual world. So he went to his room in Vrindavan, closed the doors, and started practicing that how to be peacock. So he started stretching his neck like this and started crying out peacock's noise. When another devotee opened the door, he said, what are you doing? He said, I am practicing to go back home. What to do when I reach there? Then they reported to Srila Prabhupada. And Prabhupada chastised, this is not the way. When you follow sadhana bhakti, automatically these things will be revealed. You don't have to go to some other Babaji to know who you are in your spiritual constitutional position. And such practice is not to be done, not at all. Then the devotee understood, I should not go out. But then some other devotees thought, within movement, at least we can read Krishna's pastimes with gopis. So they formed Gopi Bhava Club. That is there in the Lilamrut. Prabhupada came to know, what are you doing all these things? He said, no, we want to know how this, rasa happens, the Madhurya rasa. And Prabhupada again condemned that. Prabhupada again preached that, please do not focus exclusively on one rasa. You can focus on all rasas. Dasya ras bhi discuss karo. Vatsa, Sakhya ras bhi discuss karo. Shanta ras bhi discuss. So, it is not that we are against one rasa of Madhurya rasa. We are equal to all. Accept all the rasas, discuss all of them just like we discuss any other rasa. Like once Jayadatta Maharaj, he refused to publish one article on gopis in BTG magazine, and the news went to Prabhupada. And Prabhupada asked Jayadatta Maharaj, the exact question he asked is, are you going to ban Madhurya, are you going to ban gopis from Bhaktivedanta magazine? So we are not here to condemn Madhurya rasa also. Just give enough proper explanation of each rasa. That will help everyone. So what happens when this verse of Urdhva Mula Madhya Shaka, whatever is the best in the spiritual world is the lowest. So when we try to imitate those pastimes of Lord Krishna, or try to imitate the pure devotees, the way they were living, in our conditioned life, we see from our angle. Like, when Rupa Goswami says that, there is a natural attraction between boy and girl. When Rupa Goswami is thinking about and giving that example, he is giving for the pure message that the natural attraction between soul and Krishna, or the pastimes between the Lord and his devotees, they are naturally getting attracted to each other. So, the point we are trying to understand is when pure devotees, when they look at the mundane pastimes, the material world is a reflection of the spiritual world. So when they look at the reflection, they are reminded of the reality. That is their level of consciousness. But the conditioned souls, when they look at the reality, real pastimes of Krishna and gopis, because they are not advanced, they are reminded of the reflection. So that is very dangerous. We need to understand what is that we are reminded of. So we need to understand our position and act accordingly. If we start imitating great souls, it will be very, very dangerous. So, so there is one very important English saying that says, the fools rush in where angels fear to tread. The pure devotees also, they are very cautious. They don't exhibit their sentiments in public. But the fools rush in. Why? where there is publicity available. There is a cheap adoration available. Just like there is a saying in Sanskrit, Shabda Jalam Maharanyam na bhuktaye na muktaye. There are so many scriptures and they have created a Shabda Jal. Sometimes people may go to so many non-core scriptures and get into it. So the scriptures are so many and they have so many meanings. If you try to decipher Sanskrit, from the same shloka, multiple meanings can be derived. And in that, then there are so many obstacles to understand, because first of all you need to understand Sanskrit and so many obstacles may come. And in that, on the top of it, we have so much of less time. So that Subhash is saying there are so many scriptures, there are so many meanings, then there are so many obstacles, and on the top of it we have such a less time in this human form of life. So one may get caught, Shabda Jalam Maharanyam. One may get caught in the words of the scriptures, just like one may get caught in Maharanya. Na bhuktai na muktai. Matlab he will not enjoy the scriptures and not get liberated also. Just caught in this Shabda Jalam. So what is the message? Focus on the purpose of the scriptures. Focus on the purpose of human form of life. Similarly, when we become sincere, focus on why we are practicing Bhakti Yoga. Are we practicing Bhakti Yoga to become imitative followers of Rupa Goswami or so many other Goswamis? Are we trying to become imitator followers of like Sahajiyas, trying to experience certain things which are beyond our adhikar? Just try to be sincere and you will be protected. Because the purpose has to be very clear. If you do also analysis, although imitation is easy, fast and cheap for publicity, it cannot last. Imitation cannot last. Sometime it will be exposed. Even in the Kali Yuga, so many bogus sadhus are exposed at some point of time or the other. But the purification, what you achieve by the purification is everlasting. That is ours. That is granted by Krishna. It remains in the heart. If we are at this stage, that is our achievement granted by Krishna. We will not fall down. If say for example we have given now say meat eating, that is because of certain level of chanting association, such a bad habit also we have given up. But outside world, 90% people may not be able to give up even meat eating. So that is not imitation that we are doing. Giving a very basic example. Now tomorrow somebody offers very palatable foodstuffs which belongs to this category, will not even think twice. Enjoy करूँ या ना करूँ, हाँ या ना. Will not try to think analytically, philosophically. भगवद गीता क्या बोलता है? Meat eating is not good, but I am getting attracted to it. ऐसा होता है कि हमारे मन में? नहीं होता है. Because that stage is past, that is achieved by us. Similarly, when the pure devotees, they have crossed all the material contaminations, that anartha nivrutti stage, they do not get attracted to these lusty desires or pride, all the 6 anarthas. They have crossed that. We have not crossed that. We always have this duality in the mind. Mind will say enjoy, intelligence will say no. And we go to the scriptures, yes, scriptures are saying no. So there we have to use our intelligence. Because we have not crossed that stage where, spontaneous rejection is not coming from the heart, like it would come to the pure devotees. So that is where, when it is said that the purification is everlasting. Whatever is our level, try to increase that level. Try to increase our level of purification. It may take many lifetimes. Don't try to imitate or compare with other devotees. That devotee is advancing very fast. I am not advancing so fast. So let me try to imitate another devotee. That will not work, because as soon as you cross your stage and try to imitate some higher level, it will not last. You will again come down. So better compete with ourselves instead of competing with someone else or comparing with someone else. Next is, one cannot maintain the standards, whereas the one who is purified, he will have no problem in following the standards. In fact, the standards are the subset of his lifestyle. We can see examples of great saints when they were tested. Haridas Thakur was tested by sending the prostitute. Tukaram Maharaj was tested by sending prostitute. They did not have difficulty. Now I need to pass the test. ऐसा tension नहीं था उनके अंदर. In fact, following standards is subset of their lifestyle. They just don't get attracted to it. Then another point is that those who are imitating, they always have double standards. One kind of lifestyle in public, another kind of lifestyle in private. So always we say na, that whatever is speaking on Vyasasan, if you are not following what you are speaking, see what that person does off the Vyasasan in private. So there is always double standard. That will never give satisfaction to that person. But one who is purified, he has same lifestyle everywhere, whether public or private. In fact, when all the youths from the colleges, they come to ISKCON, they see the brahmachari lifestyle, all of us have done that, what do they do in the brahmachari ashram? When we are allowed in the brahmachari ashram to come freely and go in those days, we used to feel so proud, these people are really pure. मतलब जो वहाँ पे बोलते लेक्चर में वही फॉलो करते हैं आश्रम में भी. That gives faith when they closely watch a devotee's lifestyle, that whatever is said in the Bhagavatam or whatever they are preaching in the 6 session course and other courses, they are following that in their life. That gives conviction to the followers, the audience. So because they are having same lifestyle in public and in private. And the last is destination of such imitators. Prabhupada says, in one purport, that such imitators are only going to the hell. But destination for those who are following the path of purification is back to Godhead. It is only time that is separating. Maybe one lifetime, maybe 2 lifetimes. So how does it matter? We are supposed to follow Krishna's instructions, not the actions. So towards end of today's discussion, I will try to summarize what we discussed today. And before that, there is one very important section I copied from Srila Prabhupada's purport. In one place, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is actually condemning such people. He is saying ki, such people who are imitating are stone-hearted people. They are not having any rasa in the sincerity in the heart. If there is little sincerity in that person, say, what I am doing, I am cheating. More than followers, I am cheating myself, wasting this human form of life. And in one song, it is written by our acharyas, Dushtaman tumi kisare Vaishnava Pratishtaratare Nirjanera ghare Tava harinama Kevala kaitava. My dear mind, what kind of devotee are you? Simply by cheap adoration, you sit in a solitary place and pretend to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. But this is all cheating. And Prabhupada says, recently in Mayapur, one South African devotee, he tried to imitate Haridas Thakur. But after 15 days, he became restless and went away. An instruction Prabhupada is giving is, do not suddenly try to imitate Haridas Thakur. Engage yourself in Krishna conscious activities and gradually you will come to the stage of liberation. Then once you come to the stage of liberation, what are you supposed to do? That is also given by Prabhupada. An advanced devotee situated on the platform of spontaneity is already very expert in Shastric instructions, logic and argument. And when he comes to the point of eternal love for Krishna, no one can deviate him from that position, neither by argument nor by Shastric evidence. An advanced devotee has realized his eternal relationship with the Lord, and consequently he does not accept the logic and argument of others. Such an advanced devotee has nothing to do with the Sahajiyas, who manufacture their own ways and commit sins by indulging in illicit sex, intoxication and gambling, if not meat eating. Because meat eating is something very gross, probably Sahajiyas will not do meat eating. But the other 3 things, they will always try to imitate. Sometimes Sahajiyas imitate advanced devotees and live in their own whimsical way, avoiding the principles set down in the revealed scriptures. So, there Prabhupada writes at the end that just by imitating the dress of Rupa Goswami as well as their avoidance of the prescribed methods, it will lead them to the lowest regions of hell. Debauchees and Paramhamsas are not on the same level. And the last part I would like to read from quote from Prabhupada's purport is, we must always remember that eagerness to follow the footsteps of Brajavasis, because there are many people who, not that exactly they want to become gopis, but some want to imitate Nanda Maharaj. Some want to imitate Yashoda Maya in Vatsalya Bhav. That imitation is also condemned because it is not possible unless one is freed from material contamination. That is the point. You know, in the following of regulatory principles, one very important stage is called anartha nivrutti, which means disappearance of all material contamination. Sometimes it is found that someone is imitating such devotional love, but factually is not freed from anarthas, unwanted habits. You know, it has been seen that a so-called devotee proclaims himself to be follower of Nanda, Yashoda or Gopis. At the same time, his attraction for mundane sex life is also visible. Such manifestation of divine love is imitation. You know. And he says lastly that a devotee who is actually advanced in Krishna consciousness, who is constantly engaged in devotional service, even though he has realized this relationship between him and Krishna, should not manifest himself even though he has attained perfection in public. The idea is that he should always continue to act as a neophyte devotee as long as his material body is there. Activities in devotional service under regulatory principles must be followed even by the pure devotee. So that is what our Acharya is telling us. What to speak of imitating, even if you actually achieve, then also you follow as if you are a neophyte. As long as you have material body, you follow the regulatory principles laid down for the sadhaka. So this is how Prabhupada is guiding us and protecting us from all these nonsense imitators. So let us only pray that we follow certain things as Prabhupada has written here. And to summarize today's discussion, focus on purification and not on imitation. It may take lifetimes. Imitation is actually costly. In the middle of the lecture we said imitation is cheap. Actually it is costly. Why? First of all, people condemn you once you are found. Right? Then Prabhupada is writing, the destination is hell. Is it not costly? And you lose your human mission. Mission, you got the opportunity to use this rare form of human life to purify yourselves, achieve the ultimate mission that we are supposed to achieve. You lost that opportunity. So actually imitation is very costly. Purification is not that costly. Follow the words and instructions of Lord Krishna and the pure devotees and not their actions. Raga Marga is Puja Yogya. Better follow sadhana bhakti. And focus on the purpose of scriptures, the purpose of bhakti marga, the purpose of human form of life. Not get caught into envious comparison and competing with other devotees, because this envy is only going to backfire us in our own devotional service, not others. So thank you so much. So I would like to end here today. Any questions or comments? There are devotees like Raj. I just saw you, Prabhuji. You can add Prabhuji to whatever I.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, and thank you Prabhuji for the wonderful class. Prabhuji, you said that there are two types of post boxes, authorized and unauthorized. If you put the mail in that post box, it will get to the right person. And that analogy was compared to the deities. So means deities must have gone through the process of Pran Pratishtha. But Prabhuji, in most of the cases, means on our houses, we have deities of copper, and we also have photographs, and we worship them and pray to them in the same mood as we pray to the Lord in front of in the temple life. So Prabhuji, they have not gone through the process of Pran Pratishtha. So what are your offering or dealing with that Lord? Is it going to Lord or what?
So what we are taught that when the deities are not there in our voice days, in our college days, we always have lamination of the deities whose prana pratishtha is done. So that is the deity we use for offering food. If that is not available, like on the streets we used to go for distribution, sometimes we would offer food to Bhagavad Gita, which is not different from Krishna. So there are various forms. The first canto of Bhagavatam, Prabhupada gives, the pictures, the drawings, made of some different 7 types of objects. They can be worshipped where our feelings can be exchanged. But the point Prabhupada was making and I was making is that people today in Kali Yuga, I have seen in my villages and towns, on any rock they will put some sindur, make it Bhagwa color, and then somebody will offer flower, and some other pastor, oh, there is something, they will start offering obeisances, and slowly one small temple will be built, and after 100 years one big temple will be built. Nobody knows where it has come from. So such kind of worship is condemned. And for that matter, offering to copper deities, all these things, actually Krishna is bhavagrahi. Even if you do not have any copper deity, in worst situation, you are in, say, for example, jail or Andaman Nicobar, and you don't have any picture to offer, you just imagine Radha Vrindavan Chandra in your heart and offer your food and eat that. Lord will accept the bhav. Okay.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji.
Panshodhan Prabhu. You are supposed to, Guruji, add to the lecture.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you for the nice discussion on false imitation and the results. You mentioned this statement that the Raga Marg is Puja Marg, right? So one thing I just wanted to know what's the reference for this. And the second is that you said that just follow sadhana bhakti. So then at the same time it is said that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come to teach Raga Marga Shikhayu. So then the question may arise that on one hand we say that don't follow Raga Marg, follow only sadhana. But on the other hand, it's also said that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come to give Raga Marg. So then how do we sort of balance these two?
Definitely, devotees like you and Radhesham can comment on this. I would like to share my understanding. When we say that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come to share Raga Marga, my understanding is that the Sankirtan movement and even the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya in the house of Srivas Thakur are equivalent to Rasa Leela, but they are given in a format where we do not get agitated in our sense gratification. Like Rasa Leela, if you start thinking about it, I would get agitated. But when I think about Sankirtan of Lord Chaitanya in Srivas Thakur's Angan, then I feel rather ecstasy. I can also participate in this temple hall and dance. So the result is the same, but the process is something very simple, in a way that conditioned souls of Kali Yuga can follow. That is my understanding, where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives that. But when it comes to the actions, we are not following the actions of Lord Krishna, like Rasa Leela, or actions of pure devotees. We follow the instructions. If you do the Sankirtan process, you will get the same ecstasy that somebody got through Raga Marga. So, but others can also comment. Prabhuji, Radhesham Prabhu, or you also can. Mike.
Anybody wants to answer to this question, they have to study the book Shuddha Bhakti Chintamani. Because this is not an easy answer. And it cannot be spoken in 2-3 minutes. So therefore, the book written by His Holiness Shivaram Swami Maharaj, in that both types of letters of Prabhupada he has presented there. And the letters where he has condemned the imitation of Raga Bhakti on one hand. On the other hand, if we don't aspire for increasing our lobha, then we are going to be like a duck in the ground level. We will never become a swan. Actually, the longing of the old Orison lady for darshan of Jagannath, that was so much glorified by Lord Chaitanya. And also the longing of that Brahmana who refused to eat prasadam because Sita Mata was taken by Ravana. So these are noticed by Lord Chaitanya and appreciated. So devotees definitely have to increase the lobha or greed. In fact, that greed is the only price that is required for one to move from Vaidhi to Raganuga level. In fact, in Vaidhi sadhana bhakti, then there is also, in the Vaidhi itself, there are two. In sadhana bhakti there are two. One is Vaidhi sadhana bhakti, then Raganuga sadhana bhakti. That means Raganuga sadhana is also there. And above that there is Bhava bhakti and then Prema bhakti. But means so prior to Bhava bhakti, there is a Raganuga sadhana bhakti also, which is explained in Rupa Goswami's Nectar of Instruction, 8th verse. So then how should that sadhana be done and who should do it? Who is qualified for it? So those things, for that you have to study Shuddha Bhakti Chintamani. You go from chapter 1, chapter 2, there are 15, 20 chapters, and one should not, as we rightly said, jump into such things, and then we will become imitators and appear foolish. We have to cut a sorry figure. Many people who jumped into Raga Bhakti fell prey to illicit sex, as we rightly said, and they went out. So those who really want to go carefully, actually it's like damned if you do, damned if you don't. If you don't aspire to become a Raga Bhakta, then you remain at the ground level, you don't increase your greed. Then routine is not so much, routine is glorified in the early stage. But after spending 10, 20, 30, 40 years, there is no much glorification only for the routine and consistency. And just like aeroplane and car, they both go together in the road, but the aeroplane takes off and the car keeps going like this. That is the difference between animal and human. Animal will be on the ground level, human has to transcend. So that transcendent, what Mamsharan is saying, is also important, but it is not meant for everybody. There is a qualification to be acquired before one can aspire to go for Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti. So therefore I said we will not give any precise answer to this question. One has to study Shuddha Bhakti Chintamani, where the science of devotion service is elaborated thoroughly. Shwaram Maharaj has written many books. This is one of the books where he gives a Nectar of Devotion book in more elaboration. So you can read that. Because what he spoke was the one what Prabhupada would regularly speak. What our Tulsi Prabhu spoke in the class, this is the way we all also present to the public. And we don't tell the public that you can practice Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti and we will give you the method. Nobody gives method. It is actually between Guru and disciple. The Guru is pleased with the disciple's practice. He may call the disciple and say, these are the practices. Tat anuragi jana anugami kalam nayeta kilamittu padeshasaram. So anuragi jana, how will you become anuragi and become anugami of Yashoda or Radharani or Sridhama Sudama Madhumangal? How to follow them, how to meditate on their pastimes. So these things, are they meant for common devotees? Definitely not. It is meant for those who are very advanced devotees, and they will get direct instructions from the spiritual master whenever they are ready. And if Guru is not giving such instructions what we should do, what he said we should do, that's all.
So thank you so much. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Still